Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. Now, I stumbled upon a debate that Candace Owens was in when she was a little younger, 2 years younger, 2.5 years younger. And I haven't seen it yet. I would like to watch it with you all. But only reason why I'm watching is because I want to see her growth. Sometimes you see people where they are today, especially if you also have some sort of a platform and you're learning yourself and you're trying to figure out which direction will I take this, which direction will God take this, because sometimes your direction is not the same direction that God is thinking about. You're sometimes we think a little too, I mean, God's view is way out there, some things that we have not noticed yet. So, but anyway, I sometimes when I check out people like Candace Owens and Shapiro, Officer Tatum, and many others, I judge them by where they are today. And that's not judging them harshly. It's just looking at how poised they are, how educated, knowledgeable they are. And I'm like, whoa, you start doubting yourself a little bit, like, whoa, maybe I should stick to this and not even, just stay in my role, stay in my lane. You know what I mean? But when you're seeing them like 2, 3 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and you're seeing their growth. Like I just checked out the Hodgetwins when they were having a conversation with Patrick Bet-David on Valuetainment.
All Republicans was racist. I thought all white people was racist.
Yeah.
I was.
And they was talking about when they was hardcore Democrats and they moved into what caused them to move more and more and more and more and more into conservatism, to MAGA. And it was really interesting. I like seeing things like that. I like seeing people grow. All right. So that's what I want to see from this right here. Wow, Candace, she looks amazing in that dress. Sheesh.
Thank you, thank you. Let me
She said, thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, you're quite welcome.
begin by thanking the Oxford Union for hosting this most important debate in a time of steep political divide during which we increasingly see conversation shut down in favor of protecting feelings and creating safe spaces. I would like to thank and commend you all for having the courage to host this discussion. Dare I say, the Oxford Union is making debate great again.
She throwing shots. She's shaking it up already. Making debate great again. She knew she was doing. Go ahead, Candace, get him.
When a close friend of mine learned that I was coming to this deeply revered university, he urged me to be prepared. He said, be sure to have your facts, numbers, and data points. Alas, I had to inform my friend that no such preparation was plausible, because the motion that sits before us today is the impeachment of President Donald J. Trump, a topic that made entry into the sphere of debate absent any substantive fact, born entirely of innuendo and unmitigated anger and personal contempt. Personal contempt, like calling somebody a weak president, an odious president, a hideous president, suggesting that somebody smells like scotch, while very entertaining, is without any fact or merit. Of course, this debate, this impeachment talk, did not begin here at Oxford. Rather, peculiarly, the conversation regarding the impeachment of Donald J. Trump began the very first morning after he defeated Hillary Clinton in a stunning upset back in 2016.
First, I just want to stop this right quick and say I am quite impressed by this young lady because she is having a debate in the middle of Oxford. Oxford? Really? Like, she is next level, man. And I don't know why I did not like. I think I didn't like her because the culture was making noise like they didn't like her. And I never found out why. I was like, oh, we don't like her? Okay, we don't like her. Simple as that. She can't come to the cookout? Okay, she can't come to the cookout. Huh? Now look at me. I might not be able to come to the cookout because I like Candace and because I like Jesse Lee Peterson and Ben Shapiro and the conservative twins. And list goes on and on.
And so we are forced to ask ourselves here today, how is it possible that calls for his impeachment began before he even officially assumed office? First, and I recall this one quite affectionately, came the rabid charges of Russian collusion. The conspiracy theory that the Trump campaign had colluded with Vladimir Putin to influence the election results. Sadly, after 2 years of unfettered media propaganda, Democrats' hero and special counsel lead prosecutor Robert Mueller ended the probe, concluding that there was absolutely no proof, zero, that any member of the Trump campaign colluded with Russia.
Now, listen, every single night we were told by MSNBC and CNN, Rachel Maddow brought up every single night, Fox Wolf, what's his name, Fox Wolf, and Anderson Cooper and Don Lemons. They used to bring that up all the time about how friendly Trump was with Putin and how he was the reason why they were looking into the emails of Hillary Clinton and why everything on TikTok, on Twitter was being hacked by some group that was apparently owned by the Russians, and it was all Trump's fault. And that's what was being fed night after night, day after day after day, night after night. Whenever I walked in my room and I saw that TV on, and oh man, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get up out of here, man, because I don't want to see this mess.
Embarrassed, defeated, the Democrats quickly jumped to their next claim, obstruction of justice, the rather illogical charge that the incumbent president went to great lengths to obstruct the special counsel from discovering his innocence. The claim defied common sense, which is why, unsurprisingly, in March of 2019, the evidence of obstruction was officially deemed insufficient, and the corresponding charges were formally dropped. Running parallel to all of this foolishness was the extraordinary charge of campaign finance violation, a time when an unlikely Democrat hero emerged, porn star Stormy Daniels. Impeachment, the media obsessively claimed, was a plausibility because hush money was received by Ms. Daniels from the Trump campaign.
Hush money was received by from the Trump campaign. Okay, riddle me this, because this is just me. I don't think that any Trump money was received, and if it was, I think it was fair game. Just let's hear me out for a second. Just hear me out for us. Just 1 second. I won't be long-winded, I promise, because I don't know a whole bunch about it. I don't want to speak too long and sound ignorant as heck. Okay, but if I do sound ignorant, I don't mind. It is what it is. I don't know a whole lot about this. I'm just speaking on it. But if she took hush money to shut up, then that, to me, would equal out to what she took in order to open her mouth in the first place, right? Because we didn't pay you to come out and say what you said about Trump. We didn't pay you. We probably did pay you. They probably paid her a nice fee to open her mouth and say something about Trump. But what they did pay her, that I know they paid her, was attention, was media, was fake support. We got your back 100%. What he did to you was wrong. You need to come speak out. Right now is the time. I think that's far more ignorant and ridiculous than hush money to shut up. Because honestly, can y'all just tell me, during that time, people are running for office. They're putting themselves in position to be the best person for the job in order to run the country. All right. What's the point of putting ex-lovers out there now? Oh, he can't possibly run the country if he had a couple of side pieces. If he had a side piece, if he had a mistress, if he had a woman on the side. Oh, we got to get her. Let's go get her, because that's far more important than whatever issues he claimed he will be able to fix in the United States of America. That's just dumb as hell. That's tabloidish. It's just ridiculous fodder that draws us in each time, and then we stop focusing on what's real. We focus on that fake stuff right there. That's that fake stuff. That's why he said fake news, because that's exactly what we use in order to, you know what, I done talked enough.
The Democrats became certain that this was the story that would sink the presidency. So certain, in fact, that they transformed Ms. Daniels' lawyer, Michael Avenatti into an overnight celebrity. Propped up as the long-awaited kryptonite to the MAGA superhero, there were public calls for Mr. Avenatti to run against Trump in 2020. More sadness, because that story collapsed too. And if you need an update, Ms. Daniels was ordered by a judge to pay Trump nearly $300,000 in legal fees. And the hush money lawsuit against the president was dismissed entirely by a judge back in March. Oh, and what of Mr. Michael Avenatti, the man once glorified by Democrats as a presidential contender? It grieves me to report that he has now been accused of financial fraud himself, indicted for extortion, fraud, and identity theft by a host of clients, including Ms. Stormy Daniels herself.
Now, you see what happens, right? You see what happens. As soon as you take a nibble off of Satan's nectar and you agree to be involved in this rat race, you are now fair game. The person who was the alleged victim is now fair game as well. Everybody, you brought them in here, now we can ruin their life. You brought them in here, now we can ruin yours. You're representing them. We about to daggone look into your stuff, and we're gonna tear you apart with the information we find. It's ridiculous, man. I believe it all wastes time. It all wastes time. It really does. It really does. But that's the world we live.
Which brings us to Ukraine. Because only in the fervent madness and desperation of radicalized leftism could a man be accused of colluding with both Russia and Ukraine. Despite Ukrainian President Zelensky.
That is kind of wild. That was actually a really good point right there. But because her intellect is sometimes the way she ties things in, it goes over people's head. And the people who did catch it, most of the people who did catch it, they probably understood right then and there that their original argument, because a lot of them there are probably for impeaching Trump, and they see exactly what she just now did there. And it was like, oh, she makes a point. She makes a point. But I can't applaud, because then I will look like I'm supporting her. And that's what we all decided that we wouldn't do, right? Before the debate, we said that we wouldn't. Okay, so we just going to not even acknowledge that she made that great point.
Outright denying that any quid pro quo existed between his government and Trump. And despite the disastrous hearing yesterday before the House, which revealed that none of the alleged whistleblowers had any firsthand knowledge of the call between the two leaders, Democrats will continue to push this narrative to its natural conclusion until it collapses, like all of the other false narratives, under the weight of its own deception. Ladies and gentlemen, need I remind you that a president can only be impeached for committing a high crime or a misdemeanor, a crime like former Democrat President Bill Clinton committed when he lied under oath about sexual relations that he had with an 18-year-old intern in the White House. Unfortunately for Democrats, beating Hillary Clinton is not a high crime. In fact, many people like myself consider that to be an act of philanthropy.
I told you they don't want to acknowledge how right she is. She's kicking butt, but they don't want to acknowledge it. They're like, wow, she brings it. She's coming tonight.
By now, you may have gathered that the argument I am making is one of overzealous partisanship behavior by the Democrats, but that is really just the veneer. Do not be deceived by the topical arguments today. Do not overlook the true meaning of this conflict. Recognize that what we are debating today is not left versus right, Republican versus Democrat, or liberal versus conservative. It is tyranny versus liberty. If a decision is made to impeach a president on the basis of opinion, then the republic is doomed. If personal animosity and prejudice become the basis for removing duly elected officials going forward from their offices, then the republic is doomed. Founding father Alexander Hamilton spelled out this potential abuse of impeachment when he forewarned that such prosecution, and I quote, in many cases, will connect itself with pre-existing factions and will enlist all of their animosities, partialities, influence, and interests on one side or the other. And in such cases, there will always be the greatest danger that the decision will be regulated more by the comparative strength of parties than by the real demonstrations of innocence or guilt, end quote. Even in times of extraordinary political divide like today, we must remain principled. We must remain factual. And I am afraid that the basis of impeaching Trump is neither. Appropriately, Alexander Hamilton also wrote that a nation which can prefer disgrace to danger is prepared for a master and deserves one. Through the continued onslaught of these various fraudulent investigations, we not only disgrace ourselves, but we weaken our position upon the world stage. We signify to the rest.
I just realized that this is a sport, that debating is a sport. It's like like a sport of the minds. Like the most brilliant people come to the table and just have these type of discussions as other brilliant people judge them based off of technique, points made, how fluent they were while establishing their argument. It's just, if they were funny. This is dope, man. It's good to see. I probably wouldn't go to a debate because it's just not my cup of tea to be able to sit inside of a room for hours dressed up in a suit as other people who are dressed really nice have serious conversations with one another and then go and have some water and cheese and crackers. That's just not my thing at all, but I'm picking up what she's putting down. I'm still following her case that she's painting for them. I would like to understand like the temperature in the room, because from what I'm gathering is that most people who are there are in favor of impeaching Donald Trump. And what's wild is now when I do my Googles, now when I search, it's wild how things do. When I search Donald Trump on YouTube or Google, everything that's unfavorable toward him is way at the top. Everything that's favorable toward him is way at the bottom. Like you got to search for it. That right there comes off to me as kind of shady. And I don't know why it's that way. Because I know for a fact that there's an abundance of Trump supporters out there who would love to see any type of new information that comes out about him. But it's not being shown. All right.
Rest of the world that Western civilization is on the brink of implosion. Within America, constitutional government is dissipating before our eyes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have traveled 3,662 miles over the Atlantic Ocean to inform you all that you simply cannot impeach somebody that you don't like. And if the chamber would like to continue to be held in high regard, emotion will be set aside in favor of this immutable fact.
You simply cannot impeach someone that you don't like.
Thank you for having me.
Let me tell you something about Candace, man. She's a beast. And anybody say she's not, you are you are probably, I can't say anything about your opinion. That's your opinion. I'm about to say you're a hater, but that would be a lie because people can have their own opinions, man. I believe that. I don't think we should push our opinions on other people, but I think, you know, we were all raised differently, but the same. So we have some things about us, our thought processes that's different from others, but most of who we are is very similar to others out there. And that's what makes us so relatable. That's what makes the voting process such a big deal, because no matter our differences, there's a few things that will make or break the foundation of this country. And when we're brought together to vote for those things or against those things, that's what really shapes and protects and organizes everything that would protect us and get us prepared for what's to come. Certain people are being put in those positions to run for those positions, not just place, but put in those positions to run. In my opinion, at a very early age, they're groomed for that, and the information that they're taught and fed is preparing them to be able to take over the biggest company in the world, which is the United States of America. In my opinion, you know what I mean? It's what it is. But I really enjoyed this. Not only did I enjoy watching Candace kick butt, I enjoyed seeing the beautiful young lady coming into her own, unafraid, unapologetic, extremely intelligent, even funny at times, and just making sure she is staring people in the eyes who are right across from her, who she knew had such disdain for her, but it did not break her spirit. It did not break her speech. She fumbled a couple of times, but she just a couple. I mean, she was reading her speech from like 5 pieces of paper. It was like 5 pages. So yeah, you definitely have a right to fumble a couple of times, but she even made those smooth. So yeah, I enjoyed it. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. If you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside of the Patreon as well. Y'all have been amazing per usual. I got playlists. Go through them bad boys. Go through them bad boys. You might like what you see. You really, well, never mind. You might not like what you see. That's the other side of that coin. All right, see y'all next time. Love you.